Hi everybody, my name is Annie Chan and I'm an RCIC. If you're new to this channel, welcome. And this particular YouTube watch list, what I do is I explain a Excel spreadsheet model I created. Actually, the first version was a couple of years ago now to calculate various P&P programs. I first did it as firstly as a study aid because I realized so many calculations between, for example, the federal programs and the provincial programs. They were, they were taking the same data. The age coming from the birth date, the language scoring, the education, and the work experience. So I realize if you have one central data entry for everything, you can come up with a lot of different reports that are, I think, a pretty good approximation and as a starting point if you're a practitioner to present to a client. So, which leads to the next thing. Obviously, the spreadsheet is geared towards practitioners for kind of a rough analysis of what the possibilities are for your particular client. So I won't try to go over the details of the spreadsheet model because if you have a quick look, you'll see that there's quite a few other videos that explains the structure. Instead, this one I'll just focus on one particular stream. And in this video, I want to talk about the international student stream for the Ontario P&P program. It is early March, and I've included 6 different streams into the model. I believe there's 8 in total. Because the model focuses on the applicant's requirements, the 6 of the 8, I felt I had quite a bit of data, and I could generate a pretty reasonable report. So what I'll do is I'll just walk through the web page where I'm getting kind of like a formatting and getting the requirements for qualification. I'll then go through the model itself, then point out where everything is, and then I'll just summarize it with a slide deck. And I try not to bounce between the different applications too often because the screen recording software acts a little finicky sometimes. So, okay, let me get started. So the main thing is, as a very, very high level, the international student stream is focused on people that have a job offer, so which is like a really big criteria. The job offer has to be in a knock code of 0, A or B, okay, and there's some job offer requirements. Now, because again the model is based on what characteristics, what history the applicant has, I don't really have any data entry for the job offer meaning is the job offer a minimum 1,560 hours, meaning 1 year full time. The what the eligible occupation. I do make an assumption is that the principal occupation of the applicant is the same as the job offer. It's kind of it could be considered a cheat more or less because I presume that that's the knock code that the person is applying for in their express entry, and in this case the knock code of the job offer. So that's just one, I'm treating as one data point. The low wage level, I don't do any evaluation of the wage. I don't do any evaluation of the wage compared to the job bank, but I do have an evaluation of the wage and the wage history of the applicant because it's used for scoring. So this one criteria I do cover. Okay, so I've incorporated this into this particular into the report. Number four, position is usually necessary. I don't really have a data entry for that. Work based in Ontario. Again, I don't have anything for that. That's well, and frankly, that's kind of presumed. I'm gonna hop down to number two, education. So in the model, the criteria, the different categories that I used are based on the Canadian, the Express entry score. So because I'm trying to fit everything into one model, the education criteria here, do watch out for that if you decide to use this model as a starting point to build your own reporting tool. Because I'm trying to fit everything in, it may lead to some erroneous results. So the education criteria must be a degree or diploma from a eligible Canadian institution, or, and it looks like here, if this person has completed on 1 year a minimum 1 year post grad. So I'll show you I'll show you when show you the model how I'm evaluating that. But let me just jump down to here, eligible Canadian institution. It's hyperlinked on the same page. Oh, I believe it will. It should jump me. Actually, why did it jump me? And actually, it should have jumped me down to here. I don't know why it didn't do that. Further down the page is just a huge list. So it's many institutions that are fairly well known. I'll leave it at that. There's obviously far more institutions in each province than this list has. But they obviously wanted to focus in on just certain ones. For example, if you're in BC, there's BCIT, Vancouver Community College, and then British Columbia colleges, and there's two sections. So yeah, there's multiple sections, one for colleges, one for universities, I believe. So anyways, the history of your applicant, the education history must be included here. Yeah, the universities are further down. So anyways, let me just jump back to where I was. Okay, so we're down here. Apologies for the scrolling. Hope it didn't make you dizzy. Valid license or authorization for the job offer. I don't really have anything built in the model to prompt for that. Nor do I have anything for number four, which is because this is an evaluation tool. In the first version of this model, I did have a flag to indicate where their intended destination is. I may build that into the future when I have the other provinces built back into this latest version. And off the top of my head, yeah, this is the third version of the model that I'm going back to refresh. Legal status in Canada, that's implied. Don't cover application period, and I don't cover any of the employer requirements, like the company's history. Okay. Now this is the basis of the report that I created in the model. So the job offer knock code, it's pretty straightforward. The knock type and the job offer wage. Okay. Now this criteria is based on data for the applicant. So the Canadian work experience, the level, and the earnings. So this data point is relatively new. The model always had the Canadian work experience and the knock level. So I'll show you in a sec where that is. The education. Okay, I think these criteria are a little different from what you find in the CRS scoring. So I'll quickly show you how I equated everything. The field of study, a new data point that I put in the model for this stream, and the Canadian education experience, which is basically kind of a version of this criteria. Um, I I put it into the model, and again, this is probably the area where if if you do start using the model, you should double check to make sure that it's accurate, because again, the categories I'm using are a little different. Okay, next is language. This is already in the model, and these two data points are were added to the model when I incorporated the Ontario streams. Okay, so that's now we're on the colleges. So basically, that's the entire page. Now I'll quickly hop over to the Excel model and show you what I'm calculating for it. So here's the Excel model. Now the in the calculation for the stream, it was out of 110 points. And actually, let me just go back there to just to show that really quick. Okay, the screen recorder is acting a little funny again there. But here's the section for the calculation back on the web page. So you get a maximum of 10 points for the knock level, and 10 points here, 10 points here for the wage. Then the work experience, maximum of 4 points. Then 3 points for the work experience in Canada. 3 points for the wage. Then the education. So in total, this adds up to 110 points. So back on the spreadsheet, that's where I get this 110 points now. Now, I don't want to cover too much, I guess, existing ground, but this is the report for this particular stream. And so what I've done is I've highlighted, I put in a gray background for all the various calculations that were taken from the data entry tab. So, for example, the primary knock, I'm treating it as the knock of the job offer. So you see a cell reference there. This is just a simple calculation. What is the job offer knock? Because this was some previous sample data. This particular knock, forestry worker, is a knock level C. But you can quickly change it for your applicant. I think it's down over here, primary knock. And again, this model, since I'm providing for free, feel free to reformat it how you like. I'm using a yellow background to indicate data entry, and gray background to indicate a formula that you really shouldn't change. Oh, okay, so I just changed the primary occupation code, and back here is just picking that up. Okay, so now the education. The criteria for the education is over here. And this criteria is taken from the CRS scoring. So, yeah, and you'll see when you look at this, I tried to match it up to what the criteria is for this particular stream in Ontario, which is a little different. So from this data entry, this particular sample data, this person has 3 years or more of single credential and located in Canada. Okay, which is just taken from here. And I have a drop down for the province. You can fill that this is in Ontario too. Some other PNPs give you points or qualifications depending on where the education was, and you can see that I've got some provincial specific questions. Okay, uh, because this file does incorporate other PNPs, I try to organize it a little better in this version. Uh, what the provincial specific questions are, and if you're curious, let me just go over here. I do try to show this in every video. This tab has all the on Ontario reports in it. Again, there's 6 of them. If you're looking for one of the other provinces, as I'm rebuilding this file, I hide the other provinces. So far in this version, I also have the BCPNP and the Manitoba calculations. And if you look at the reports tab, this is where all the federal reports are. Oh, okay, and again, everything is driven by a formula except for one calculation where I'm using a macro, a VBA macro. Okay, so let me just go over this really quick. So the next part of the report, and actually, why don't I just start flipping back and forth? That may be a little easier to follow here. Okay, so this is going to be really good. But so here's the criteria. So if you scroll up here, the job offer. So I already showed you where this was. This information is right here. The education is here, and this is also based on a cell reference. Okay, and so this B is the same as this B. These are the number of points, and you see the formulas here. These formulas are pretty straightforward actually. The knock type, I'm just cell reference to whatever the knock code is. So in this case, I'm just using 22553, which is again based on this field here. Okay, the number of points. You can see how this works using a switch formula, which is kind of a shorthand for having all these calculations, having this in one single formula. So 10 points for these knocks and 5 points for this knock type. The wage is just a cell reference. You can follow that. The historical wage of this applicant, again, another cell reference. Now this is a cell reference to the data entry grid for work, and it is down here. I don't want to spend too much time in this video explaining this grid, but because that in itself is a whole separate video. Having said that, again, the data entry is in yellow, and the formulas are in gray. And let me just go back to the web. Sorry, let me just go back to the web page 1 second. So I just wanted to double check something really quick. So for the work experience, I did not see any kind of time limit, meaning, for example, federal skilled worker has to be worked within the last 10 years, Canadian experience class in the last 3 years. For this to calculate these points, I did not see any kind of time limit for that. So what I've done, and I'll go back to the model now, is this particular calculation, is taken from these 2 cell references. These 2 cell references are down here. And I'm just scrolling down. Again, sorry if I'm making you a little dizzy. but it's down in these two cell references. And basically what these two cell references are is it's just doing a sum. If the work experience is 0, is A is a knock A. Let me just double check that. Yeah, so it's just taking it from these two cell references, as long as it's in Canada. So actually, this I may need to tweak this, but it's taking it from these two columns. It's taking it from the summarization of these columns here, and it's basically all the hours of work experience for that row of data. And again, yeah, there's different subtotals here based on the different duration. Okay, so there's that. The location of the job offers, that's another data entry. Highest level of education, similar thing. Now, this is where, because of the criteria, the education criteria, I made an estimate based on, in the CRS, there's points for 2 or more credentials. So I made that as an equivalent to the criteria of a postgrad, and then the Canadian work experience is another cell. Sorry, the Canadian education experience is another cell reference back on to this particular page. Cell 87, C87. So it's over here. Okay, and that's actually basically it. So, so the report for this particular stream is, I'm focusing on the scoring factors that are down here, and this stream is kind of unique in that way because this particular scoring factor is unique. There's 2 other streams have other scoring factors, but they're actually out of 50. They're out of 50 points, whereas this one is out of 110. Okay, so again, to summarize, the Excel report is basically this data here. Okay, so now let me just wrap it up, and just to summarize everything really quick. Again, this report again wasn't too hard to code because all the data points were already there, except for some of the education points, and again, because I tried to match it up to the CRS scoring, that's where it could be tweaked a little bit. And just while I'm looking at it, let me just yeah, the trades data entry. Yeah, the data entry for the trades is down here. Yeah, this was a new data point too. And again, I'm using auto filtering here. Sorry, validation, data validation. So if you just click on the drop down, it limits your selection. So I don't have to. The Excel formulas can be a little more accurate. So if you change it to healthcare, all of a sudden this is healthcare getting 10 points. Okay, so let me go to the slide deck now. Okay, so the main thing about this particular stream and how I incorporate in the model is that it's based on this table that you just saw on the web page. And again, the main criteria is that the applicant had to have education within Canada and a job offer. Okay, the scoring factors, language, I kind of glossed over that really quickly. but there's data entry for language. I'm summarizing. The language scoring is here in the gray, based on the data entry of the language, test type, meaning IELTS, CELPIP, TEF, and TCF. It's just a drop down in these cells, in the yellow cells, and you enter in the scoring, and the model figures that out for you. Um, the work experience, the data entry is in yellow. The calculations are in gray. Uh, and then, yeah, the language scoring. And again, just to reiterate, um, the education is based on a degree, at least 2 years. And again, you saw that in the CRS, they considered a degree 3 years. So if you see this later on, I may need to tweak that equivalency a little bit. Uh, and then, yeah, when I added the field of study and the location of the study. And again, going back to the other data entry, would be the Canadian education experience. So, yeah. So if there is a change, I'll be sure to make a comment of that in the model a little later on. I'm trying to keep as few versions as possible. I have a new tab now called changelog, where I'm tracking all the various changes, so that if you do download the file, do try to download the latest one, because on moving forward, I'm using this to validate my own work and for my own practice. And like I said, I'm more than happy to share this with other practitioners. Okay, so thank you for watching. I know I kind of rambled a little bit on this one. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. And I'm actually a fairly new RCIC, so I love to collaborate with other people if that's at all possible. Again, I created this model. What mainly one is studying it at first, but now secondly, I realized that there could be some value to maintaining this moving forward. So, anyways, thank you very much, and I'll see y'all soon. And oh, sorry, this is one of the 6 Ontario videos. I don't know what order I'll be posting this up at, but uh, but if you see one of the other ones, even within the Ontario ones, I'll keep the same link. I'm updating the Google Drive. Just grab the one marked Ontario, and again, even though this file is marked Ontario, if you click on unhide, you'll start to see other provincial PNP reports too. Yet, but they're just hidden. Okay, thank you, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye bye.